Okay, so it's Wednesday, April 15, 2026, 7:20 p.m. I want to try and do some kind of guided hypnosis session. So this is going to focus in on a resonant life healing experience. So for those on the outside who will be familiar with past life hypnosis, my approach is different because first we look at resonant life, and then from there, if that goes well enough over time, the discipline improves, the evidence increases for a possible real past life. I base my approach on the importance of evidence and also having a complex trauma-affected awareness in my approach. So, in other words, let's say you've been abused in your life and you've experienced narcissistic abuse, you've experienced complex post-traumatic stress, and now you go to a past life hypnosis session. And one of the common ideas you'll hear in past life hypnosis, if you dig in enough, I have a couple of cats who get a little feisty. One of the past life hypnosis ideas you'll hear commonly is that you choose your life, and you might choose a life of suffering from the other side, of sickness or even slavery, that you choose to be a slave before your life, or that you're the perpetrator in one life and you're the abuse victim in your present life, to see what it feels like on both sides, because that's what your soul wants to learn about. I have personally never heard this kind of learning from or messaging from God. I've never experienced this kind of download in a hypnosis session. And as a result of this, it's very important for me to be complex trauma aware because of my own life experiences, and narcissistic abuse aware because of my own life experiences. So I do not like to approach past life hypnosis from a typical standard one-size-fits-all. This is the modality. I don't like the thought of that. I have chosen instead to pursue my own modality, develop my own modality. So first we go with Resonant Life, and we acknowledge a few different principles that could be called the KonMari principles, or principles that I've developed for my own past life hypnosis modality. Number one, we really don't know how many past lives we actually have unless we've really heard it from God, unless we have the evidence from God and it's real evidence. And this is not some kind of hokey ego trip business. Okay, I'm back. I have to pause it sometimes because of little challenges that emerge. I have these two cats, and it's their dinner time, so they've already eaten, but they're a bit excited and feisty. So, the principles, the values in my modality. Number one, unless you have overwhelming evidence from God, from nature, of a past life, you simply don't have the evidence. Now, this speaks to the problem of religion. A lot of people have, in quotes, knowing, or some kind of pseudo-evidence that really isn't any kind of evidence for something, and they have a great sense of conviction about something, like that Adam and Eve were the first human beings on the planet. And a lot of people in the religious world believe that. They really believe that. So, I'm not one of these people who thinks like that. So, I need something that's very convincing in the way of evidence. So if I were to go and do a past life hypnosis, I know personally that I need to categorize my system as follows. You only can say you have a resonant life, and a resonant life is it's a lifetime that resonates with you. It could be fictitious, it could be real, it could be part fictitious and part real, but that's all you have to go on until you have the overwhelming evidence of something more than that. So I'm not here to be someone who will give you credit for having a past life, or myself credit for having a past life, unless we're getting overwhelming evidence of that. Examples. You're speaking a language pretty well that you could have no way of knowing. You're deep in hypnosis and you start speaking another language. Your emotions are deeply attached to someone, but even then, I'm strict. So that means you still could be a well-disciplined psychic, or a good psychic, not even disciplined, but just simply psychic. We're going to have to understand how many psychic moments you've had in your life, and is it possible that you're just tapping into your own psychic abilities and you're reading the life of another person that resonates with you. But we can't say yet that that's really your past life, because based on my modality, the amount of cases, the number of cases where people can give in-depth details and information and knowledge, those past lives, I shouldn't have said real, but those past lives are far and few when people can really go in depth. And so unless we can get to that point where we're going really in depth, it's an issue of the leader and the one who's following the leader. So likewise with a hypnosis practitioner, if the person is not following me well, or I'm not leading the person well, there's going to be problems either way. So for me personally, I want to feel like I'm being well grounded in realism and preparedness to acknowledge that you might not have any past lives. You may only have resonant lives. And there's a reason why this is hard for anyone in the past life community to accept. because they're not familiar with the idea that God or nature put together our consciousness for the first time out of source, that we just came straight from source, nature consciousness for the first time. They don't want to believe this because it's more fun and interesting to be able to say, I have lots of past lives, because the idea is more is better. It's kind of like money. How much money do you have? I have lots of money. I have lots of money, so therefore my life is better. The idea of less money is better just doesn't make sense to people in the Western world. So the idea of less past lives, or the idea of a new spirit, doesn't sound as appealing to the sensibilities of a Western person. So this is going to be a turn-off. This is going to be something that people won't feel comfortable with, or that there could be false notions that people could get out of a expensive past life regression hypnosis adventure that they're paying a lot of money for, but they're getting false information from, which creates the problem of, are we getting into some kind of quackery here? Are we getting into some kind of scam here? What's going on? I feel like I've been scammed, right? This is the idea. That is not comfortable. It's not a comfortable, positive space to be in. Once you start talking about, I think that, let's see. Okay. So anyway, the principles of what I'm talking about in my modality, firstly, we have to acknowledge that we're only going to be able to embrace resonant lives until we have the overwhelming evidence that it could be more than a resonant life. But this is nice, because this means that you can have a part fictitious, part real, fully fictitious resonant life, whether you're an alien or you're an animal, you're anything. If you really take yourself seriously on this and really go with it, you might actually get real results. The real results are improvements in perspective, the way you look at a situation, because you've gone first person through this hypnosis experience. Now, here's one of the big funny mysteries that people run into is when they go online and you go on YouTube and you see this past life regression hypnosis video show up somewhere, and you click on it, and then you find yourself listening, and then you say to yourself, I can't bring myself to be at the door to open it, or then, like, I want to do it right, but I'm not able to. Like, people get this idea. So what I'm going to say is, let's take a minute to be aware and present with resonant lives first, before we even start the hypnosis, to go into the one that we first select. So instead of selecting one in the middle of the hypnosis, we're going to already have one in mind first that we're going to investigate further with. So if you can just, off the top of your head, here's the nice thing about a resonant life. Understand that many people could have the same resonant life. You want to be Cleopatra, this is a good one. Or you want to be Jesus, or you want to be whoever it is that you resonate with. You want to be some character, an elf. You want to be so-and-so. Okay, you resonate with that. Or an angel. You want to be an angel. Okay. You want to be someone's spirit guide. You want to be someone in your family. You want to explore the life of a family member from the past. You want to be someone who's both either good or bad, or controversial. Someone in history who's controversial. In the resonant life modality that I have on my own developed, this is on my own discovery, not having ever developed this based on looking at other people's hypnosis modalities. 100% original, based on my own learning, study, and development. So if you can think of someone first that we're going to set our minds on to explore the life of, and acknowledge that this life resonates with the self. You resonate with this life, and you accept that you're going to explore this life before going into this hypnosis, and it's going to be during this hypnosis that you explore this life. Accept it. Just accept it. And the nice thing is, one of the problems I kept running into in past life hypnosis videos was, I thought to myself, it's kind of outrageous. Some of these people, I find myself thinking I might have a past life of this person or that person. One time it was in the 2010s, and I even entertained the idea that I was Krishna in a past life, and I thought, this is kind of ridiculous. I don't think there's enough realism behind this. And all I ended up doing was essentially learning about the life of Krishna in online study. I could see that there's lots of imitations of Krishna. There's lots of Indian folklore about Krishna, but ultimately it's kind of based on this lore around a young, very dark-skinned boy and man who lived in in a poorer part of India a long time ago. And then from there, the blue skin lore emerged. And this was of interest to me because one time I was at a grocery store before the 2010s. It was kind of like around 2006 or 7. And there was a family from India, and the man and the woman, I think both of them, had very, very dark skin, very black skin. I mean, this dark tint of skin is darker than a lot of African Americans I've ever seen. And I could see that the lighting was such that it created a blue tint on the skin. And it was in that moment I thought, this is where the whole thing about Krishna could be coming from. I mean, not in that single moment when I saw them, but maybe in that moment when I saw them. I know that that experience stood out to me, and I was really impressed with it. And I was like, wow, they have this light hint of blue in their skin from the lighting in the room, and their skin is very, very dark. So I was really impressed with that experience. And I did not like the amount of different portrayals of Krishna, and how I didn't like some of the ways that he was portrayed. It just seemed all very fake and kind of like superhero comics or something from India that looked kind of cheesy and silly, and I was curious. So I never was able to go further in hypnosis and believe that I was Krishna. I really felt that this was a danger sign of egomania. So I wanted to, or narcissism, so I really wanted to find ways to debunk it. And I essentially never really convinced myself or felt convinced that it was a real past life. I just thought, no, this is just someone who I was interested in for a while. Then that was it. And it just goes to show you, his life actually goes to show you that whether it's Krishna or it's Jesus Christ, there are multiple impersonators, people who have tried to say that they are the reincarnation of Jesus Christ. There was a guy in Russia who's lesser known in the media. There's a guy in Australia. There's just these different men who go around acting like they are the next apostle or the next reincarnation of Jesus Christ. And a lot of times really what they're doing is they're simply doing some kind of guided help, education in a religious type community. And it's not convincing to me. So I think to myself, this is why past life deals are very easily blurred or mixed up with quackery and scams and egomania and narcissism. So that's my introduction to the hypnosis. And the key is the therapy. And it's not the show and tell. It's not to be able to go around saying, I was so-and-so in a past life. You have the right to be able to proclaim your past life as anyone, be it a royal, or excuse me, your resonant life as anyone, be it a royal from Europe or an emperor from the Far East, or one of the all kinds of characters in world history, controversial revolutionary types, or controversial people associated with wars. You have the right to claim any kind of past life, resonant life for yourself, and acknowledge by my modality that you acknowledge that you don't really know that this is your past life. You acknowledge that there's no real evidence for this yet. All you know is that you have a resonation with this life, and your passion is to do the therapy, to work through it, in hopes to improve your perspective on your life and also life in general, and to get some good positive breakthroughs. So there you have it. That's the introduction. I'm going to pause it for a quick second, and then I'm going to start up again. I've got to fix a couple of things. So, by this time now, you can have thought of one resonant life that you can select and say, this is the one I'm okay, I'm at peace with exploring. And if you still haven't done that, I would ask you to try to select it now before we even get started. Just select it, make peace with it, that this is the one you're going to explore. And we're going to go from there. So, acknowledging this resonant life, we'll do a count up and a count down, and we're going to try to do some relaxing here too. So, of course, the routine, you get relaxed, somewhere where you can chill out and let yourself get closer to a sleep state. You want to be relaxed when you do this, and settle on your choice of your resonant life that you're going to go with. And I'm going to count up to 5, count down from 5, and then we're going to begin going through a little bit of that resonant life. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Now at 0, try to feel yourself relaxing, getting very relaxed, and acknowledging that we're going to be present with this previous life, this resonant life, We're going to be present with this resonant life, and we're just going to relax as though we're lying down in a really safe place to lie down, like in the sand, and it's a lot of sunlight shining down. You can hear the waves. Just relaxing, that all the thoughts that are distracting and all the life situations that are distracting, all the noise of the thoughts in the back of the mind, all these things are just going to chill out and relax. Focus in on a kind of a really relaxing, healthy breathing. Just like the waves keep waving in and they draw back out into the ocean. Letting the breathing become really natural and healthy. No fight or flight, no shallow breathing, just nice big healthy breaths, breathing. And getting into the feeling of relaxation and letting the sunlight beam down. And just trying to be really still and really present with the flow of nature. Understanding that underneath all of nature is the fabric of reality. It's the sand, it's the atoms that make up everything. It's just the fabric of reality that's holding it all together. And just the flow and the rhythm, the groove of reality. And just relaxing in a really nice beach, a really nice sand area. It's really pleasant. It's a really nice place to be. Maybe there's some nice music in the background. Maybe there's some nice people around. And as nice as they are, we're just going to try to be really still, really relaxed. And the ocean waves sound just wonderful. These are not difficult ocean waves to listen to. These are very pleasant ocean waves to listen to. This is a really nice beach. You're really fortunate to get to this beach. It's a very warm, perfectly warm day, so perfect the temperature that you just are really comfortable, relaxing. And so it's kind of like when the compass is just spinning around when you've reached the North Pole. It can't settle on a point to go to anymore. Well, likewise, there's no reason to think anymore. There's no reason to point your thoughts anywhere anymore except acknowledge that we are here now. We are present with where we're trying to be. We feel resonant here. We feel present here. You know that feeling when you feel like you're where you really should be. It's a good feeling. It's a feeling of belonging. Try to feel that. Try to feel very relaxed, very still, very peaceful. Try to feel that. And try to be present and connected with the ascendant, the positive. So just as air can be dirty and dusty and unhealthy to breathe in, air can be super clear and super healthy and fragrant. A beautiful fragrance of flowers maybe in the air. Very, very clean, fresh air. Nothing that smells bad in the air, just very, very clean, beautiful air. And no noise pollution, no nasty sounds of noxious arguments in the background, no nasty sounds that are pollutive. This is very healthy. The sounds you hear on this beach are very healthy. The air is very fragrant and beautiful, little floral smells and notes in the air. And you feel really healthy here. You feel really positive here on this beach. This is a good place to be. And we're not going to be distracted by the little thoughts in our head, the little impulses, the little urges. We're just going to be accepting the commitment and the devotion to stillness here on this beach. That there's a higher calling here. And that is that we're going to do some resonant life healing and breakthroughs here. So we're going to keep that thought of the resonant life that we've chosen in our thoughts, in our awareness. We're going to be aware of this resonant life. We're going to approach it with respect and compassion and intention to heal and awareness. So this is a resonant life that's you can only approach that way. And that only good is going to come out of this. We're not going to let any toxic, harmful, pollutive ideas and emotions, self-identification emerge out of this. We're only going to do cleansing, healing, empowering work by visiting this resonant life. It's going to help us disconnect from negative habits, negative thoughts, harmful thoughts, pollutive habits, and patterns. So now that we're here on this beach, I'm going to do a count up and a count down. And we're going to arrive to a point in this lifetime. We're going to arrive to a meaningful and formative point in this lifetime that has an influence in our present lives. And we're going to discover this point in time together. We're going to be present with this point in time in this lifetime together, this resonant lifetime. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And let's just relax and be still and let ourselves very gently drift without even trying. We're going to effortlessly drift to this point in time. Effortlessly. So you're just going to effortlessly let yourself find yourself at this point in time in this resonant life. Don't try to just let yourself drift there. Let your deeper consciousness guide you to this place. Effortlessly. Try to reach it by effortlessness, by relaxing your way there. By finding it by your relaxation, your devotion to stillness and relaxing. This divine stillness, this perfect stillness while you're letting yourself breathe healthy. So let's just let ourselves drift. Feel that drift. Try to feel it. Try to feel that movement. Becoming present with this point in time. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Let's let ourselves be present again with this point in time we're coming to. What characterizes your emotion as you find yourself coming to this point in time? Do you feel fear? Do you feel anxiety? Do you feel foreboding? Is there a feeling of fear of being caught, or a fear that if you identify this, it will confirm some kind of condemnation? Do you feel condemned to identify this moment in time? We're going to let ourselves just slowly drift to be present with this point in time. Where is it? What does the wall look like? Do you see one object in this place, in this environment, that really stands out to you? And can you compare it with something you've seen in your present life? So there's the resonant life object, and can you compare it with something you see in your present life? So it's the same kind of object. As I'm here, personally, I can see a clock. I see a clock. This is me now, not you, this is me. So I see a clock, and I can see where I am in my resonant life, but can you see where you are in your resonant life? Can you see where you're going? And I'm going to start keeping my details to myself as I go through this, because this is about you experiencing where you're going in your resonant life adventure. So, what do you see? And as you are there and you're present with it, Can you start to feel love? Can you start to feel belonging? Can you start to feel a sense of presence with a sense of faith? Can you feel a strong feeling of any kind that establishes your presence and your identity here in this resonant life? Can you start to feel a clue? Can you start to feel a clue? As they say, I don't have a clue. Well, maybe you do have a clue. Maybe I have a clue. So let's feel this clue. What clue can we feel coming through right here? So now, as we start to let ourselves be open to drifting effortlessly to feeling more for this place in this moment in time, it might feel very insignificant, right? Because, hey, we're just here at this place. Maybe it's a house, maybe it's a field, maybe it's somewhere. Or we're just here, we're just present here, and it just seems like nothing's happening here. Maybe it feels like we're visiting here, like we're going through back in time to a time and place, and we're just like a ghost visiting this place, and it's like, oh, here I am, this is what I see. But it's just something to leave behind. I can't stay here long. I don't know what I'm doing here. Let's let go of that concern. Let's let go of that, because that's like a little noisy thought. We're going to let that just be. We're going to let that quiet down. I'm going to do a little count up and a count down. We're going to let go of any little noisy, stressful, anxious thoughts that are stopping us from living this moment up. Let's live this moment up, and we need to quiet those noisy, troublesome thoughts that are getting in the way. Maybe these are moments of anxiety and stress. So 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, 0. And now we're feeling more relaxed. Now we're feeling more relaxed. And now we're going to effortlessly accept that we just need to really get good at being present in this moment, in this place. We need to get good at being present in this moment, in this place, because it's like the song, knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. We're not being present enough in this place. So let's feel the euphoria, just like we acknowledge that we're also still relaxing on that beach. We're still there, and the beautiful fragrance in the air. We appreciate that. We like it. And we appreciate the lack of noise pollution, that it just sounds really beautiful and the waves sound beautiful. Well, same with this place we've come to. We need to just get good at appreciating it and being good with the stillness of it. How long does it take to paint a beautiful portrait or draw a beautiful picture or write a great poem? It takes a long time. I mean, sometimes to get that good. So we need to just get good at being present with this place that resonates with us. This can take a long time. So let's just relax and be present with it and feel the good vibes here. Feel what we feel about it. What do we feel about it? Do we feel ambition? Do we feel that there's an incredible adventure ahead of us from this place? Do we feel, what does it look like maybe through a window? Or what does a window look like? What does a wall look like? Or where in the world, like, let's try to get little details effortlessly. Let details effortlessly come to us about this place. Little details effortlessly coming to us about this place. We're feeling the beauty of the summer or the time of year, whether it's spring, summer, autumn, or winter. We're feeling the beauty of that, because even if this moment in time that's important for us as a resonant life moment, even if it's really important and there's good and bad, there's still things to appreciate about it that are very beautiful. So this could be the time of year it is. And the time of year is always really beautiful, mostly wherever you go in the world. Unless you really hate the weather there. Maybe you hate the weather. But there's really a way to look on the bright side and to feel positively about the weather. Is the rain there? Can you feel the wind? Can you feel the question of the time of history about like maybe laptops and computers, or maybe there's just like books, and there's bookshelves, and there's beautiful architecture or design here of how things are all put together, what the hallway might look like if there's a hallway, or in the room, are there any musical instruments, or would there just be furniture items? Or if you were outside, would there be little objects around like farm tools, or would there be maybe like would there be people around you such as like military people or an academy, or would it be something more like sports, or would it be like snow and snow tools outside, or would it be like hot weather and you're out in the middle of a city in India somewhere, or maybe you're out in Israel or Judea, or you're out there in Africa somewhere. What do you feel for in this environment? Because this can be anywhere. You could be Polynesia. You could be on another planet. You could be an animal. Where are you? What are you feeling here? There's no judgment going on here, because the only intention in this Resonant Life hypnosis is divine healing, breakthroughs, to be healthier, to be less polluted, with less misguidedness. So let's just effortlessly drift through this place where we are. Let's be present with it. So we're going to count up to 3 and down from 3 again to deeper relax here and be more present with this one place. But we're not going to move on from this one place until we feel some meaningfulness here. We want to feel some meaningfulness, and we want to feel some awareness, enhanced awareness. Why is this place giving us a strong impression? Is this a place of love where we've loved someone dearly? Do we love someone dearly here? Do we feel a great sense of emotion here? Do we feel a great sense of concern here? Have you ever felt a moment in your life where your hair stands up on end? Something has happened here in the stillness of this place. Something happens here where you have strong feelings for this place. You have very strong feelings for this place. Or someone of this place. Can you think about who might be walking through this door, this hallway, this room? Can you think about who might be walking through this field? Can you think about the people in your life here, or whoever it is here that makes this place so special? Maybe it's a family member. Do they make a certain kind of food for you that you really like, or do they talk to you in a way that you really love? The way they talk to you. Let's just let ourselves relax deeper and let these feelings of significance come to us, because unlike typical past life hypnosis, we're not going anywhere anytime soon, not until we get something good here. This is my modality that I'm working. So we're going to count up to 3. 1, 2, 3. We're going to let the noise relax. We're going to let the noise go of the negative thoughts. We're going to let the pesky thoughts relax and fade out. We're going to let the thoughts of being judgmental, or the thoughts of being anxious or self-conscious or embarrassed fade out. We're going to let these things be blessed away from us. We're going to bless them away from us. Just like in that old story about Buddha turning arrows into flowers, we're going to let our stressful thoughts be blessed, and we're just going to turn them into flowers, and they're just going to fall like petals. And we're just going to smell the beautiful fragrance of the petals. We're just going to smell the beautiful fragrance in the air. And as we feel that beautiful fragrance in the air, like when we're on the beach, 3, 2, 1, 0, and we're getting more relaxed. We're going to intensify this relaxation again, because we deserve it. 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. And get very relaxed. Can you feel any fragrance in the air in this place? Or any kind of scent? Can you feel the visual of a human being here? Can you feel a visual of someone here coming through? because you're not being judged for who you see here. You're not being judged for who you resonate with here. You're just going to see who you're going to see. And when you're feeling the negativity here in this moment, because you likely will feel a little bit of backlash in your own mind, a little bit of, no, this is impossible, this is too good to be true, I can't do this. You're going to feel a little bit of that because we're getting into the extraordinary here, right? This is where it's getting a little bit too real and too intense, right? So maybe it feels overwhelming and a little anxious. So we're going to let these thoughts of feeling overwhelmed fade out, and we're going to bless them, and we're going to transform their pointedness into like rose flowers. We're just going to let them relax, fade out, and we're going to see them as they are. They're just like pollutive thoughts, pollutive emotions of feeling overwhelmed and scared. Notice your breathing. If you're shallow breathing, back to that beautiful breathing again. 1, 2, 3. 3, 2, 1, 0. We're a little more prepared now to embrace the extraordinary, that someone might just come right on through. We might just see a little snapshot image of someone, a little vision of someone in this place. Let's look at this place a little more clearly. Can we see a little more of the window frame? Can we see a little more of where this is? What kind of place this is? Environment this is? Can we make a little more detail of the landscape? Can we make a little more detail of the person? Are there any animals running around here? Can you feel for this place and the kind of language you might be speaking? It's okay, whatever language you might be speaking, it's okay. Can you feel for it? Can you feel for the love that's in your heart right now and who you love? This precious moment of love for someone that you feel. Can you feel for who that might be? And that you don't want to let them go and you're worried about them. Any person like that, I'm giving little passive suggestions to help encourage the effortless flow to let the knowledge come to you. Because this moment in this resonant life is a time that has made an impression on you in your present life. So we want to be able to get greater clarity on that. So we're going to let ourselves effortlessly drift and feel for things here. What about the fashion? What kind of clothes are we seeing around here? What kind of clothes? What kind of concerns are weighing on the heart? What are we scared of right now? What are we concerned about right now in the world in general? What are we concerned with? Let's improve our clarity on that. Let's take that feeling of stagnation, of feeling stuck, of feeling I can't get a better sense of this place. Let's take that feeling of no, I cannot. And we're going to let that feeling go. We're going to effortlessly release that feeling from ourselves so that our clarity improves significantly. And whatever fear, whatever insecurity, whatever hesitation is in the way that's stopping us from getting better clarity, we're going to let that go, and we're going to release that from ourselves. And any pointedness, we're going to transform it into flowered petals with a beautiful fragrance of roses or another flower favorite. 1, 2, 3. 3, 2, 1, 0. Feel the stillness and relax into this place. Feel yourself relaxing into this place. We're going to stay here for as long as we need to because we get the job done. We make real progress here. We do not skim over things here. We make real progress here. We're going to get really good clarity on this place. And we're not going to be moving on until we get some good clarity. So let's relax here, be present here. Do we hear any sounds? Do we hear the kind of language that might be spoken? Do we hear the topic of the day? Do we hear the topic of the day? Do we hear the thoughts that we think about? Do we feel the concerns or the hope or the ambition that we have based on our experiences? So we're visiting this place from our present life, acknowledging that this resonant life is not where we are in our present life because we're just visiting there. We're paying a visit to this life that resonates with us. So we're visiting as though astral, in spirit and consciousness and presence. But we are visiting this place with awareness that this place has a significant value for us in our present life, because we acknowledge that this is a resonant life, so therefore there's something here to this place. And one of the reasons why we might be reluctant to get more clarity on this place is because we fear trauma, we fear consequence, we fear danger. And if we get more present with this place, we're fearful that this is going to unlock something that's scary. We're fearful of that. We're fearful of experiencing the extraordinary. We're fearful that this might become extraordinary. And if it does, we're going to feel and think in an extraordinary way, and that's scary. So we're going to hold that feeling for a moment, and we're going to release it. We're not going to be fear-driven. We're not going to be anxiety-driven. We're not going to fear the extraordinary. Let's keep improving clarity, and it's okay if it feels obscure. It's okay if it feels like we're struggling to do this, and we're awkward and we're clumsy. That's fine. We're just going to do another count, and it's going to get easier effortlessly, because it's all about relaxing and being still and feeling for this fabric of this part of reality we need to be aware of. It's going to help us. We're going to get positive breakthroughs. We're going to get divine healing. That's our ambition, our intention of visiting this place. So let's relax into this environment and be more aware of it. Do you feel the time of day it is? Do you feel that this is a nostalgic, sentimental place? Or that this is like a memory of a place that you wish you could always be at? You feel for this place and you love this place? Or this place has some other kind of value? 1, 2, 3. 3, 2, 1, 0. Do you feel anything in your body right now? Do you feel yourself? You know, have you ever felt that feeling before? For example, when you've gotten really upset about something, and there's a saying, your heart is in your throat. If that feeling could apply to this place, why? Why would it apply to this place? Why would your heart be in your throat when you think about this place? Why? 1, 2, 3. 3, 2, 1. Relaxing here. Relaxing here and letting that feeling be aware. Be aware with that feeling of the heart in the throat. Or another feeling. If you have a feeling of another part of the body that's making itself very known right here in this place, in this environment. Because what's so beautiful about this place where we've come to is that we need to be respectful of our time. So contrary to our typical mind and our typical thinking, we're always trying not to waste time and spend too much time doing something that's silly. But right here in this place, this is where we need to take a lot of time, just to relax and be present with this place. Be present with this place until we get better clarity. Because this is the first development of a breakthrough. If you ever tried to ride a bike for the first time, you might have used training wheels. And if you didn't, you probably fell off your bike. I've fallen off my bike. So the key here is we're going to do the basics. And you probably were going to cycle straight in a straight line. And they probably put the saddle or the seat on the bike low so that you could easily put your feet on the ground again. Likewise with this Resonant Life regression, this is an awkward step because it's the first real time we're doing this. If you haven't done one like this before, you haven't had real successful hypnosis regression of this kind before, so it's going to feel awkward and clumsy and difficult. But it is my modality style to stay here with this one place, this one time. And we're just going to keep on being aware of this one place and this one time. We have to, because skipping over it means we're missing out on the greater sense of purpose of being here in the first place. You have to have presence, and you have to have patience, and you have to have devotion to getting the most out of this one place and point in time. And so as we're here, we're just going to be more relaxed again, and we're going to get good at this very basic relaxing and effortlessly drifting around this place and this environment. Can you think about what kind of clothes you might wear, feel what kind of clothes you might wear around here, or what kind of people you might be concerned with? Men, women, boy, girl, elderly person, friend, family, occasions. How's life been here? Can you think of a time where maybe you've been treated a certain way here, good or bad? And you think about what you aspired to be in this place, what you thought about in this life, in this place. How special was it to you? Can you feel that? Favorite food? Or how do you feel about world issues in this place? 1, 2, 3. 3, 2, 1. We're just going to get used to being in this one place and establishing who we might be in this one place. Are we masculine? Are we feminine? Are we boy, young adult, young man? When we tend to be in this place. So when we tend to exist in this one place, in this room, this hall, this outdoors area, this mountain, wherever it is that we tend to be, what age range do we tend to be when we're in this environment? So, for example, we might have only been in this place when we were in childhood, or we might have only been in this place when we were later in life, or we might have only been in this place for a short time in life, who knows? But can you get a sense of your age range when you're in this place? And can you get a sense of your feelings about others your own age? Can you get a sense about friends or hopes, fantasies you may have? Can you think about all that? Can you get a grasp about it? And what's your favorite feeling? As you're letting yourself relax here, can you think of a favorite feeling? So we're going to try to get greater clarity. And whenever I do a count to 3 and back from 3, we're always trying to improve a feeling for something. Letting go of something that might be noise or pollution. Removing it and improving clarity. So Can we think of some favorite things here for a moment? Let's let ourselves drift about favorites. 1, 2, 3, effortlessly. Not with effort. 3, 2, 1. Relaxing. 3, 2, 1, 0. Relaxing and effortlessly drifting to favorite things. Is it just a feeling? Is it just a sense of belonging, of being here? Can you think of a favorite thing or another? Oh, let's just sit and be present with that. And relaxing with that. And then we're going to drift forwards to things that are most concerning to us. Could this be some kind of abuse or some kind of danger in this exact time period when we are here? Can we think of any dangers? Any concerns? 1, 2, 3. 3, 2, 1, 0. And let's improve that clarity even more. All the kinds of dangers and concerns in the back of the mind. 1, 2, 3. 3, 2, 1, 0. Oh, let's be present with that. Okay. And now, because we've settled on this place, let's set our intentions to have even more clarity on this place that will improve our awareness of this place and of ourselves and why it resonates with us. Why do we resonate with this place and why do we resonate with this life? Let's set our intention so that in the days ahead from here, from this hypnosis, that clarity will improve. So we're going to set this intention for beyond this hypnosis. So counting to 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Improving the clarity on this place we've come to in this hypnosis. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Improving even more, getting easier to improve this clarity and intention we've set effortlessly to let this awareness improve about this resonant life and place where we are in this resonant life. Oh. And we're going to leave it at that. Keep it nice and simple. One important place we've gotten to visit, one important time. And maybe we've gotten some little treasures out of this place already. Maybe. And there's probably a lot more from this one place. Because we're kind of feeling the surface of this place in this first visit, but there's probably a much deeper intensity to this place than we're even aware of right now. Much deeper intensity to this place. So if we felt any little sensations in that life, in that resonant life, you could probably amplify that times 10 or times 20 of the intensity of how strongly these perceptions and feelings were felt in that life, in that resonant life. So, with that said, we're going to relax our way back to the beautiful beach. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Letting divine light, divine healing intention, divine breakthroughs, healing, improvement of wellness, health, guide us forward. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. We're letting ourselves leave that time that we visited and that place that we visited. We're letting ourselves leave, and we're making our way back to the beach now. Going back to the beach. We're letting divine light, healing intentions, healthy breakthroughs guide us back to where we're going. To this beautiful beach where the waves sound really beautiful. The air smells beautiful. Our breathing is really relaxed and wonderful here. very healthy. We're getting back to this wonderful beach. Maybe in the distance we hear some beautiful sounds. Maybe birds, maybe people laughing, having a good time. This is a nice beach to be at. It's a beautiful day. We're coming back to this place and we're relaxing in the sand. And we feel happy here. We feel positive here. And we're going to bring ourselves back to this beach even more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 0. And as we're relaxing here at this beach, we will reflect for a moment that we did go and we visited a time and a place of a resonant life. We improved our clarity with healing intentions, positive breakthroughs, healthy breakthroughs, clearing out pollutive thoughts, pollutive emotions, unhealthy thoughts, unhealthy emotions. We're improving ourselves. As we relax at this beach, we're going to find our way back to being fully present with our present life. As we relax on the beach for a moment, enjoying our presence there. And back again to our present life fully. We're going to go back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. And we're coming back to be fully present with our present lives. Feeling refreshed and ready to come back to life. Letting the stillness become in motion again. Letting ourselves come back to life and be ready for anything. And we're going to enhance that. Our presence with ourselves here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. And we're back. That was my past life hypnosis, my resonant life hypnosis. I keep mixing up the two terms. And I think that that's the very problem that I kept running into when I would do these past life hypnosis regressions online, is I was running into this problem where I felt like there were really these resonant lives that I needed to deal with and be able to feel comfortable and at peace with this idea that it's not that it's my past life, it's just that I'm resonating strongly with it. I don't know personally about what past life I have yet because I can't talk like I'm one of these people who's, been living in Egypt in a past life and I have these very specific details. I can't talk like that because I don't know that. But there was a woman who did. You either know it or you don't. You either have it or you don't. And I can't say that I have it, so I can't talk like I've got it. So that's why I have to acknowledge that there are simply these resonant lifetimes that get my attention. They have my intrigue. And so this was 1 hour, 4 minutes it took to get from point A to point B, get this thing done. If you've enjoyed this, like, subscribe, share, spread the good word, evangelize. Evangelize, preach the good word about my work. If you do anything based on it, please add your name or add my name as a reference in your work, that your work is based on my work to some degree, that your style was based on my style, if you decide to do your own version based on this version. And this is just round 1. So I don't know what round 2 is going to look like. I'm developing my own modality, and this was a step in that direction of developing it. For the time being, I'm kind of in the realm of practice work. It's been less than 1 year since I graduated. It was September 2025 when I graduated hypnosis, the certification program for hypnosis. It was September 2025 when I graduated. So I'm at peace just taking the humble and developing my modality here and being friendly and supportive and doing my best with what I've got. So with that said, hope you've enjoyed. Take care. Bye. Okay, greetings. This is Kanmar Owari, certified hypnosis practitioner for past life meditation guidance and other hypnosis as well. So I'm going to do an audio journal here without giving away details of my post-session review, and I'm doing this share to encourage the listener who also went through the hypnosis experience to be able to reflect similarly on their experience. So this is my own follow-up post-session, which is a free recorded session for my channel. I think free content is really important for people who cannot afford to pay for content, or they don't have a credit card, various things like that. You just might have a difficult situation. You're from a background where you're not allowed to have a card or whatever because of your age. Different things like that. All kinds of reasons. Poverty, whatever. So, okay. So it's April 16, 2026, Thursday, and I want to do a quick honoration to the protesters in Iran who have been cracked down on and punished and executed for protesting the regime. One of the one stories that got my attention really big was Bita, B-I-T-A, Hemati, H-E-M-M-A-T-I. She looks like a great free spirit. She looks like a really wonderful person. And I hope that somehow God's will comes through and she is saved and is not punished like so many others who have been unfairly persecuted by the Iranian regime for trying to seek greater independence and freedom in Iran from standards that many would consider oppressive, myself included. So anyway, because it's that time in world history, I wanted to share my respects for those people who have fought the good fight, and may God save them. So anyway, now back to the review. I felt that I had to say that just there because this was really weighing pretty heavy on my mind. Then I guess I'll just continue this quick word really quick about Iran before I get started. According to a woman named Sheila Nazari or something like that, Dr. Sheila Nazari, she was on Fox News today and she was saying how apparently if a woman in prison to be executed in Iran is a virgin, they think she'll go to heaven. So apparently they exually violate this person and I'm saying it wrong intentionally to avoid some kind of YouTube filter on that. So they exually violate the feminine or the female prisoner with the intention to prevent her from going to heaven after she is executed. Yeah, crazy. But there you go. So that's what I heard on Fox News today, on that report with Sheila interviewed, who was an escapee from Iran. So anyway, that's been weighing pretty heavy on my mind today. But back to the topic here of the Resonant Life hypnosis session that I did. So once again, just a quick cover for this Resonant Life, meaning I would say that I'd compare this to kind of like how Catholics look at relics. It's a class 2 or a class 3 or a class 1. So similarly, I would say that you have a resonant life first. That's all you can claim to at first. And if you can start proving that it's more than just a resonant life with extraordinary evidence, then we can start considering that there is a possibility for it to be a past life. That's my original modality and school of thought. This is how we would need to approach this, rather than simply accepting it's a past life to begin with. And I pride myself on complete independence from mainstream thinking about past lives, and it's very important to me to keep separate from that, because that's what I would want. It just makes me feel more comfortable in my own exploration of this topic, be it just little things to cover really quick, whether there's a belief in the mainstream ideologies about this in the New Age, about past lives, that if you're the oppressor in one life, then you become the oppressed in the next life, which would make some kind of explanation for, let's say, a survivor of childhood complex post-traumatic stress, like our childhood trauma because of abuse in childhood. Or if you're a victim of narcissistic abuse, the New Age ideology would be that maybe in a previous life, you somehow were the perpetrator, and therefore you chose to be the victim in the next life. And I just cannot be at peace with believing that unless God himself is going to tell me that. I would need to hear it from an angel. I would need to hear it from God. I would need to hear it from Christ. Or, Shiva. I need to hear it from the highest of the high. And I need to know that it was not the devil deceiving me for me to believe this. So, I understand out there in the world of people who are in the past lives, there's going to be also different perspectives on the devil. So my own school of thought on that is that it's simply the spirit of malevolent narcissism. It's like psychopathy, that you have your healthy narcissism, you have the enthronement and the dethronement, you have the behavior that's the friendly behavior, that's the healthy narcissism, and then the switch to become a malevolent narcissist. So people out there who are malevolent narcissists essentially embody the same kind of spirit that I would say is the spirit of the devil. The devil essentially is like that. Now, there are other belief systems about the devil, because I understand this topic of past lives is going to draw people from all walks of life. So anyone with that kind of Levian Satanist background or that kind of thinking would probably say, well, it's really more about the one who has the light and walks the left-hand path and then is scapegoated by the right-hand conservatives, the Abrahamic types, and then so on and so on and so on, and it goes from there. And basically, Lucifer becomes the left-hand path hero to the LaVeyan Satanist of the free thinking, the free ideology that's without restriction by the tyranny of the old right-hand path. And so I'm respectful to all walks of life that are intentionally trying to be respectful and not embodying abuse and things like that, malevolent ideology. Back in the day, it's one of my ideologies in the school of thought is that back in the day in world history, tens of thousands, like estimated 40,000 plus people in Europe were tortured and killed as suspected witches by people within the church who were out to catch witches. And they also targeted cats, and this enabled the plague in Europe because cats were catching the mice and therefore getting rid of the fleas and the ticks. And so there was some real evil people who I would say had the embodiment of malevolent narcissism and the devil about them operating within the church and simply targeting good people out in Europe and suspecting them of being witches. And unfortunately, they would target some of the most beautiful and wonderful and magical people of all, which would be the enchantress woman, the woman who is an enchantress, the people who are naturally inclined and intuitive and psychic and alternative in their thinking, neurodiverse. These were the people, and red-haired people were targeted as possible witches. So my school of thought is that the real, or one way to look at the devil is that of malevolent narcissism, that this become these evil social justice warriors and go around doing evil things to good people. Or back in the times of the Nazis, in the name of their, ethnic perfectionism, they would go and do torturous and wicked and evil experiments on perfectly innocent human beings. And they would go on essentially a kind of a incarnation of the witch hunt against completely innocent people in order to torture them, to interrogate them, to enslave them, and ultimately kill them. So I'm kind of speaking this here to try to get the listener into my frame of thinking about this general topic and my inclusiveness for people of different walks of life. So I'm respectful to different walks of life. It's really important to me, whether someone comes from a Jewish background or a Christian background or a Hindu background or an Arabic background or an African background, whatever kind of background they come from, or a folk European background, right? So I try to be respectful of these different backgrounds. Now, I want to do my review. Sorry for the long intro, I suppose, but my review of the post, or the hypnosis that I did, and I was right there in the game as well. I was hypnotizing myself and putting myself through a resonant life, which I will deliberately keep private. I'm not going to disclose the resonant life details, because this is supposed to be for the listener to enjoy, to reflect on their resonant life. But I will take little examples from my hypnosis, which was part self-hypnosis and also hypnosis for the listener, as a kind of a self-review and a review so that when we return for round 2 to revisit this time and this place, we're going to get to do it, and it's going to get even more meaningful and more interesting, more in-depth, and we're going to go further and try to be as progressive and empowering and improving as possible to improve the results, improve clarity, and so on. So one of the things I got first right away was that I saw this as the childhood residence in my own resonant life that I got into. But here's where it got interesting, was that unlike the childhood residence that this person in world history had, this residence looked a lot more like someone else's residence that was also kind of in the back of my mind. However, I understood why my wires were switched on this. Why did I intuit this residence that looked this way instead of intuiting that residence that looked that way? Why did I see windows that looked a lot more like the residence of another person instead of seeing the windows that were more like the person I thought I was visiting in my resonant life hypnosis? Like, why was I seeing the wrong residence? And I realized why was because the residence of the one I was seeing in my imagery, for a couple of reasons, reflected on my intention more than it did on the actual historical accuracy. My intention was to psychoanalyze. My intention was to... now, this one person I can... well, maybe not. I'm not going to give away any details for the fun of it, to keep it more about the listener and less about me, because I don't want to turn it into a vacuum of all about me and what I'm talking about for myself. So anyway, so the residence, or the building, let's say, of the person I ended up finding myself at, that I could look up and find, was more in line with the type of psychoanalysis I was working on. So definitely I can connect with myself with different psychoanalytical characters of world history, because that's just something I do anyway. I'm into psychology, I'm into alternative thinking and stuff like that. So I found myself in a setting that more closely resembled a different person to the person I was actually trying to do a resonant life hypnosis regression on. So it's funny how I ended up feeling like I was in one place, It was different from the place I thought I was going to. However, there were notes of the person's life that I was visiting in the hypnosis that could be looked at as different times of their life, alternatively, or places they liked to go. So one must remember that you might think you're seeing someone else's residence or this other building that you can recognize, but depending on who you're looking at in world history or someone that you know personally or something like that, their happy place and their feeling at home might be elsewhere from their actual family residence. So it might be closer to a different part of town or someone else's house or something like that. So you might find yourself going to a place that they felt was more like home to them. And so you might actually be seeing something closer to what they would feel for, but it was more to do with their thinking and their paradigm and less to do with their actual physical residence. More like where they just felt at peace, where they felt good. So this is a point where one could say, well, you didn't have enough psychic accuracy, so that's kind of disproving your effort, isn't it? Like, you need more psychic accuracy. But this is why I would say it's important to look at the importance of misplaced psychic accuracy. So it is accurate, but it's misplaced. So you're misidentifying and you're misplacing the accuracy of it. Maybe you're looking at someone else in a kind of a way, or maybe you're looking at a place where this character felt at home, but it was not actually their physical residence. They felt at home in a certain kind of setting that they felt good with, but it wasn't actually their physical residence. And so in this post-hypnosis exploration, what I ended up looking up was information about this person that I didn't know about really enough before. And what I learned was how much this person's personal life, prior to their role in society, had a lot more value than a lot of people might have assumed about a person like this. That it was easily overlooked, that one's personal life prior to their professional life was a lot more significant than was historically cared to, or was represented and associated with them. So in other words, a lot of these people in world history, you can look up information about them and you'll get general ideas about them. But there's obscure and lesser known information out there that is easier now to find with the help of things like Google, Gemini, AI, deep research, and stuff like that. So there are ways to get in-depth knowledge on things that you wouldn't usually find. And for me, there were specific psychoanalytical moments in time that I was able to think about this and reflect, and I was able to see that another side to the story that I didn't see before, which had much to do with psychoanalytical study of this character. And I found that to be helpful and meaningful and interesting. And I was inclined, how can I say this? At points to think, this is ridiculous. Like, why am I even doing this? Why am I even bothering? But that's just the way therapy works. So if one is in a therapeutic process, they have set a therapy intention for themselves to experience a therapeutic effect out of a, empowerment hypnosis, then they're going to go through times of what I would describe as the desert before they get to the oasis. So you're going to go through times where you're feeling high and dry before you get to the treasure and the reward. So you have to respect the process and respect the slow pace of the situation. And so with that said, those are some basic outlines of things that I was able to take away from the hypnosis. For a round 2 return to the hypnosis, one of my thoughts and challenges that I might explore and challenge the listener to explore is to have a sheet of paper and to try doing automatic drawing as they let themselves go through the hypnosis, to effortlessly let themselves do different types of scribbles or lines or shapes, just various types of lines, whether it's an arched line or it's a straight line, crosses, just lines, vertical lines, horizontal lines, and just see what kind of shapes and lines are formed as they go through the hypnosis of the resonant life as a kind of an artistry to reflect on their experience as they're in the experience. And I might do my own automatic drawing as I take myself through the hypnosis as well. But just let my relaxed consciousness, subconscious self just kind of guide my hand and where it goes with the drawing. And then I'll put an image of that up on the video in round 2, returning to this place. And so the idea is to keep on returning to this one place until significant progress is made. And then we can consider at that point, after the significant progress is made and there's a satisfied extent of progress, then move forwards to another place and time. And another thing, too, that was going to sound a little woo-woo, but automatic aura drawing as well requires a little more discipline. But the idea is that first I would have to introduce my school of thought about a person who does not naturally see auras. So for one thing, I don't see auras with people. Instead, what I would say, one time I had kind of like this hallucination type thing where I saw color red flash with a person, and they were in kind of a moment of anger, and that was interesting, but that was some years ago. There was yeah, so there was that, but like still, I would say that understanding the aura can do a lot better for someone like me who's not like super neuro divergent or like an autistic savant who can see colors associated with emotions and stuff like that, is to train the self to be able to connect different colors with different experiences and types of colors with types of experiences. So if you're seeing a heavenly white blue, you might associate that with a crown chakra experience. If you're seeing a green, golden, yellow color, that could be associated with the solar plexus and the heart. And if you're seeing in the spectrum of pink and red, and that could be in the very sacral chakra region, that this reflects intimacy and pleasure and things like that, and rootsy kind of qualities, but can also reflect intense femininity or beauty and fashion and things like that. So there's different ways that you can look at colors, of course, but automatic color assignment. So if you have a color set, you can apply certain colors as well in automatic drawing and get a sense of the energetic or the color spectrum that you would associate with this hypnosis experience in round 2. So you get to have a bit of fun with color and automatic drawing, just very basic shapes, and just wait until you feel the guidance in the hypnosis to add a little something to it as you listen. And the key is not to be making an intentional effort so much as letting your deep consciousness guide you effortlessly. That's kind of a hint of what may be to come in session number 2, keeping it fun and interesting, and simply just revisiting the place where we went in setting 1 and developing and increasing in-depth knowledge and awareness of this place. So that's my post-hypnosis session review. With that said, if you've enjoyed listening, thanks. Likes and subscribes help, of course. And hypes, apparently, this YouTube feature, the hype, is a thing as well. Thanks for listening. Be blessed on your adventures. This is Kamaru Ari, certified hypnosis practitioner. Take care.